It's so satisfying to be just chewing along and suddenly something to really bite into. Something that gives crunch and texture to anything you might be eating. The secret ingredient? Well, what else? Nuts.
The Praline. This nutty, buttery treat was originally a European concoction made with almonds.
The praline itself was developed by Count Pralines, who commissioned his chef to develop a candy for his parties in France.
The French aristocracy loved the sweet treat so much that they took the recipe with them when they crossed the Atlantic. Some folks down south replaced the almonds with locally plentiful pecans, and a regional specialty was born. One that continues today at River Street Sweets in Savannah, Georgia.
Our first batch of pralines was developed in our home with our mother reading the ingredients to our father, who was making on the stove.
Today, River Street Sweets pralines are made in a slightly larger setting, but the basic recipe hasn't changed. Although many people think the praline is the nut, it's actually the name of the candy surrounding the pecan. And that melt-in-your-mouth sweetness is made of some of the simplest ingredients: sugar, cream, and butter. Who doesn't love sugar, cream, and butter? The process starts with a full gallon of white sugar. And then 2.5 pounds of real butter are added to each batch of sugary goodness. Crank up the heat under the fire kettle and get ready for a sweet, rich stew. Though maybe not quite rich enough, because then they add not just one kind of cream, but 2 different kinds of cream to create the precise blend for their perfect pralines. Like any sugar and dairy mix, it has to be continually stirred, and in this case, an automated claw-like agitator prevents it from sticking and burning.
And it mixes over a period of about 20 to 25 minutes, becomes airy and doughy.
This sweet mix has to then be removed from the flame at not 240 degrees, not 242 degrees, but at a very precise 241 degrees. Turns out that's the optimal temperature for that sweet, creamy praline base to envelop all those gorgeous Georgia pecans.
There's nothing like a Georgia pecan. I believe that's the best tasting nut in the world.
River Street Sweets goes through over 60,000 pounds of pecan halves in a year. That's over 30 tons of pecans.
We can make up to 50,000 pralines in a day.
The only thing left to do in this 30-minute process is cool these babies down. That's done the old-fashioned way.
We dip the pralines off onto a marble table, which is about 4 or 5 degrees cooler than the air around it. And marble in general is very porous, so it extracts the heat out of the pralines and cools it within about a 5 to 8 minute period.
This sets the creamy mixture, trapping the pecans in a cocoon of melt-your-mouth sweetness. After being cooled, it's on to the wrapping machine.
We seal them in a machine that can seal pralines up to 50 to 60 in a minute.
The company rolls out over 4 million pralines a year, and then ships the tasty treats to praline lovers all over the world. But if you're lucky enough to be strolling down River Street in Savannah, you have to pop by the store for a sample.
There's nothing like getting a praline off a marble slab. It's the best taste in the world.
And he knows what he's talking about.
I'm a Georgia boy that loves to make candy. How's that?